Buenos dias. We are out of retrogrades. Oh, how I woke up and did a full self-care routine. I showered, oil pulled in the shower, brushed my teeth, washed my face. Baby, feeling so soft, giving so much gratitude because, oh, God is good all the time. You know? Even popped in a little bit of just a cleansing of the yoni, just everything. Because, baby, now we motherfucking got 89 days of straight fresh energy. I felt like fucking Snow White waking up in the middle of the night, Sleeping Beauty. Because, baby, now it's time. Now it's time. It's time to play. We've all been waiting for this time in our lives. And, you know, I will say, I understood what they meant when they said for the rest of Capricorn season, do self-care. It was a lot of energy put into the different types of self-care. I felt so much love and self-care in sleeping. I've slept more in the last 3 days than I've slept literally in the month, felt like. Baby. Big energy. I'm excited. When I woke up this morning, you know, I read my Bible, and I've been in my Bible heavy. I was talking to my soul cousin yesterday. I said, you know, I never realized that the color of this book was purple. The color purple didn't come to me until about a couple days ago when I tweeted. I was like, damn, the color purple has been standing out to me. And it's funny how the color purple was standing out to me as we closed out Capricorn season. Now, let's read the definition of the color purple. Well, no, let me not say that. Actually, I had said I wanted to do my nails purple a couple weeks ago. Hold on. 1 second. Do you smell it in the air? The meaning of the color purple is the color of royalty and luxury. Not too fucking much. Not too fucking much. It says it brings up a feeling of trust and reliability. Purple's rarity also gives it an air of mystery. Ooh. It's associated with creativity in the realm of fantasy. Think about how many times magic gets portrayed as purple in popular culture. Let's also talk about the fact that I'm going to read this again for the 40th time for the collective. God's words spoken out of your mouth regularly produce a powerful, victorious life. So make a decision and get started today. Now, this was at the beginning of Capricorn season. You know why I feel, and I will say, a lot of that dark energy that happened last week hasn't bothered me because right here, any given time that I had some type of uncomfortable emotion or anything like that, right here, it's funny how I started the week off, the last week of Capricorn season, I went to church. The last full week of Capricorn season, I went to church. And that's exactly when and it was like I told y'all the elders were there. Everybody was brought together, and I told y'all it's eyes. You know, a lot of people will have a rough Aquarius season, but others, it's time to have fun. This is where you actually get to have fun, and you're gonna have fun with yourself. And then something tells me that you're gonna have fun with yourself, and with you having fun with yourself, you're gonna migrate to other people. I'm loving it. I woke up this morning because the last 2 days my energy was a little bit low, but then again, it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? I kind of was really flowing with the day. Time was going by so slow. And, you know, I felt like time was only going by slow because of the new year. So it was like this 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. And now we're in the year of the rabbit. So in the year of the rabbit, there will be a lot of things happening silently that will be broadcasted very loudly, but people will be moving in pure silence. Yeah, alliance. Like I said, you're going to be going to people. You see how the birds are flying? Some birds are going, oh no, they're all going the same way. They're all traveling. There's an energy of travel, migration. You know, birds only go from one into the next to like survive. And I remember I talked about that. And that's the number 6 for harmony. Yeah. Migration is a seasonal movement of animals from one region to the other. Mm-hmm. Migration for humans says human beings have always moved from one country locally and a place of residence to settle in another. It says it's defined as the movement of people over some distance. I'm telling you, it's a distance, you know? There will be a lot of moving. We're moving. We're moving out the way. We're moving out the way. God said, yeah, moving out the way. What did I say? Moving out the way. The inner child has a big thing to do with this. Chiron has a big thing to do with this because this is the wounded warrior. You know, this last like 2 months or this okay, excuse me, sorry. In between this 89 days of freedom, that's why I said some people are not gonna have a good season, but that's whose fault is that? Okay, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? We got 3 seasons of love. We got look 3 seasons of greatness. Whose fucking fault is that? Okay. And the way I see this is the inner child. This is safety for the inner child. Some people are going to decline safety instructions. They didn't get the point. Clarify again. They didn't get the point. Damn, where the book at? Damn, the book over there. A lot of people didn't get the point. They have still some things that they need to align with. And you can tell how people are doing things. Yeah, find strength. Yeah, you can tell. Oh, you can definitely tell. Some people, and the reason why is they can't handle freedom. They can't handle it. So therefore, it's just, I told you, all that shit was a test. To test to see if you really gave a fuck, test to see how you was going to handle it, what you was going to do. And one thing about it, 2 things for sure, the way I told y'all, I'm at a level of I don't give a fuck. It's crazy. I've released so much to be like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't even get my hopes up about shit. Like, and when I feel like I do, I bring myself down. The way that you guys needed to ground yourself was crazy because it was the crown and the root. Everything that was passing down from the crown was new energy, and everything that was releasing was from the root. And what I feel like is the things that were being released from the root is what got a lot of y'all in a frenzy. It got you in a frenzy. You needed to actually bring yourself down to let it come out. It had you in a frenzy. That's why I kept trying to tell y'all, move your body. Move your body. It was going to help the energy go out of you faster without you having to, you know what I'm saying, like manually do it. Sitting outside with nature, that's very grounding. When there's so much solar flares and there's so much like just a lot of movement in the energetic field, it has a different reflection in the physical form. And a lot of people couldn't put their puzzle pieces together in the physical form of what they're going to do. I told you, a lot of people had a lot of questions. One thing about it, 2 things for sure, I don't like people to question me. Don't ask me shit. Ask me about shit to help you benefit yourself. You asking me about myself is not going to benefit you. A lot of y'all missed the concept of what you had to tell people wasn't beneficial for them. So therefore, why did you tell them that? It's not about lying. It's just about, some of that shit just wasn't needed for people to know. Your next move, people need to know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like this was a time to be very like, that's why I kept saying that flirty energy. Be very flirty, even with your friends. Just talk about things that are lighthearted. All that heavy shit. Why are you talking about that? Why do you sound so sad? Why do you sound so stressed? What's wrong with you? When I felt like my energy was low, I got me something to eat, set my ass in the sun, and then I was ready to talk again to my clients. Why you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you letting the energy drag you down. Gemini, I told you, flirty, a lot of that bubbly energy. Talk about dating. Okay? Talk about the new color you're gonna paint your nails, or you're gonna do things. Like, why was the energy so heavy to worry? I told y'all, allowing worry is a portal of fear. You don't fear nothing, so why are you worrying? Every time I caught myself in a situation to worry, I'm on Pinterest trying to find out my new hairstyle and my new color, whatever. That was self-care to me. Honey, I was shopping on the intranet, okay? I was like, yep, and I want this and that and this and that, because why the fuck not? Thinking about what I want to go, what I want to do. That's where I spent my time this last week. Instead of me worrying about other shit, I spent my time surfing the web about the things that I want instead of figuring out the how. That's the least of my worries. That's the least of my worries. Who cares? I don't know how I'm gonna do it. That doesn't matter. That causes me to worry. So how about I worry about what I want? Because that don't put fear in my heart. So look at the new shoes that I want. That doesn't scare me. New shoes. No. But a lot of y'all allowed shit to help make you worry. Why you worry so much? That's why I said that spastic energy. Why are you being so spastic? It's okay. Relax. I kept telling you, be calm. And I knew that because of the fact of when I was having all that anxiety and shit like that, I just calmed myself down, act like nothing was going on. Nothing was going on. I just was like, yeah, my heart felt funny. And I didn't even let my mind trick me into some shit. The first thing I did was every morning I would just go to random verses. The day that my heart started doing all that opening up and all them heart palpitations, God had me go to the health. I was reading Psalms 91 every day. It had me not worry. I'm not worried about none of that shit. Keeping myself away from certain shit. Just doing what I do, feel freely. Eating the food that I want, going to places that I want to, or staying in, watching a good Netflix show, relaxing, not worried about what I'm posting. Don't trip. Don't trip. There was this energy about stop tripping. You're doing too, and I said this in the beginning of Capricorn season, and I said it in the mid-year review. It was that TikTok when he was like, there's a song when he was like, you doing all this extra shit, you stupid bitch. And not saying that you're a stupid bitch, but I'm just saying you doing all this extra shit for nothing. You working yourself up over nothing. Calm down. Calm down. And when you have this urge or need that you were overthinking, why didn't you express that? A lot of y'all, I felt like you just sat and overthinking instead of you just expressing yourself. That was one thing that I learned this week, to express how I felt about something. Regardless of what the outcome is going to be, at the end of the day, I still felt that way. Like, I sent my subscribers a link of Sarah Jacob Roberts, and she was like, we don't face these emotions. And I kept telling y'all, leave that in 2022. The fact that you can't process your emotions. Are you triggered? Are you aggravated? Are you annoyed? Are you sad? Are you happy? What do you truly feel? Because as you process the emotions, you allow yourself to release them. One of the things that I realized is, I told you that paternal wound of the insecurity. I had to tell myself, I went on a walk, and actually, I thought I didn't work out all day, but actually I think I did work out every week. Well, Monday through Friday. I think I did once I got home. Yeah, I did. I went out and I just talked to God. I said, look, I deserve to be in the rooms that I asked to be in. I deserve to be in the positions that I've asked to be in. I'm not going to allow myself to trick myself into thinking that I got to go do X, Y, and Z because of what? That's what happens. Everybody's felt like, oh, well, I got to go mess with this shorty so they know I'm a man, or I got to go get this money and this. That's all the paternal energy, whether it's men or it's just the masculine energy around my family, has done. Well, I got to do this in case this. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Don't ask me how I got there. Don't ask me what I did. Don't do none of that shit. Because the one thing that I'm going to tell you is, and I'm going to always tell people, is I got locked in with the Lord. We was already locked in, but we got closer. The power of the tongue. That's my answer every time somebody's going to ask me something, because of the fact that you was too busy worrying about physical things. You needed to be worried about a connection, because this is a season of subconsciousness. You're subconscious. Okay? Fuck your conscious mind. For real. Fuck your conscious mind, because your conscious mind has created a whole bunch of illusions. I told you people was making steps and making moves off vibes. They was just doing it all vibes. Just vibe, twin. Just vibe. You are not just vibing. Just vibe. If you felt the need to do certain things, do it. If things didn't work out the way you thought it was, it's fine because it's about to turn out better than you expected. A lot of y'all, that safe house that I kept telling y'all was in, a lot of y'all was so worried about the safe house or what this, what that. And I'm going to tell y'all that from experience, from when I had to worry about it. If God put you in a safe place, it's to keep you safe. And the acronym for safe that the Lord gave me was, and if you've been following me long enough, you know, the acronym for the word safe is, the Lord says, a sacred, effective, free, and eternal energy. Even if that meant that that is the connection that you grow with him during this time, you grow a more sacred connection, a more effective connection, a more free connection, a more eternal connection. I was outside one day and I was having a brat moment, and God was like, she just need her hair done. That's all she over here fussing about. Like, oh, I could feel all my guys like looking at me like, and I started to laugh at them because it was just kind of like, instead of him judging me, or instead of him, you know what I'm saying, like being like, oh, you're being ungrateful, he just laughed and was like, girl, go figure out what you're gonna do to your hair next, because that's the only reason why you acting like that. And I was like, okay. It was just like this understanding of like, we've built this sacredness, we built this effective energy, I had this free eternal energy. And a Bible verse that kept popping up was 1 John 5. And in 1 John 5 is what it talks about. So it just made me laugh because I'm just like, God, like, don't make me, like, I don't want you to feel no type of way. But like, he was like, girl, figure out what you want to do to your head and figure out who gonna do it and go book the appointment. You just fussing for nothing. I was like, okay, you're right. Nothing's wrong. He was like, you just need your hair done. Just go figure out what you want to do to your head. And I'm like, okay, you're right. You're right. But in the midst of me overthinking, what was the real problem? The real problem is nothing. I just want to go get my hair done. I need my nails done. He like, well, did you figure out what color you want them? No. He's like, well, did you figure out what style you want? No. So why are you taking that energy and trying to place it onto things that don't matter? You're not worried about what's going on. You're not worried about what I'm doing. You're not worried about how things are working out. You're not worried about that. But see, you're allowing this energy, this is the processing of the emotions. You're allowing this energy to affect this energy, and this energy is not even the problem. There's this thing about how y'all are letting this, what is really bothering you, flow onto the things that aren't really bothering you. And so now you're trying to make this a problem where that is the real problem. So why don't you solve that problem instead of trying to solve that problem? Because that problem is not something you're worried about. That's a brain fuck for you. That's a brain fuck for you. Because it's the truth. You're trying to make fetch happen, and fetch is not happening, sweetheart. You're trying to worry about things over here that are really the problems over here. And these are the little problems, but see, you're so busy trying to figure out, well, how am I going to do these little problems if I can't solve the big problems? Your big problems were never your concern anyway. Okay. Not too much. Then he says, so the verse of the day comes from Matthew 16:24, okay? It says, then Jesus said to his disciples, if any of you want to come with me, you must forget yourself, carry your cross, and follow me, okay? I told y'all 2023 is going to be about the first house, how people see you, and your perception of, people's perception of you doesn't matter. Are you truly authentic to you? One of the questions that I asked last night in the private live, I said, how many of you guys have had epiphanies of why you aren't in the full authentic version of you based off of your external environment or people? Like, what are the epiphanies that you had? That alter ego that you have, I'm trying to tell you, that alter ego is actually who God sees you to be. Like, if you ever just thought about calling yourself a name or something like that, like a different name or something, pay attention to the name that you're calling yourself. It's not for no reason. And I know people like to be like, oh, well, like some people take the alter ego and they think it's that part of their ego. They think it's the alter ego and they take it specifically for the ego, not realizing it's just an alter ego of your healthy soul. That's the healthier version of your ego. I was talking to a client and I told her, I said, you don't realize that you're actually more powerful in the sacral energy than you think. But you're so insecure about where that power lies that you don't really realize what's actually happening. Lilith and Leo is actually helping to empower People think Lilith is this dark energy and, oh, I want to know how I can throw back the black magic and all that. No, she's the one that actually takes the shit that's thrown at her, transmute it, and become bigger and better so motherfuckers become her fans. That's why Leos, if you have weird Leos and Leo placements, that's why y'all going through such a dark time, because people know once you find your power, oh, that's it, mamas. Oh, that's it. That's it, bro. That's it. You up. It's over with. That's why I said Aquarius season is about Leo energy. This ain't Aquarius energy. This is Leo energy. That's why I said people scared. It's coming out of nowhere. Like, oh, people are just expecting this Aquarian energy, this Waterberry energy, this nonchalant, emotionally detached. That's what they're expecting. But see, what's happening is God is about to come out with a rage. The lion is about to come out where they thought that the woman with the water was going to come out. Now she comes out as a lion. She comes out, she roars real loud, and the whole room gets silent. That's how she's coming. See, people are so ready to be emotionally detached. They're so ready to be word specific. They're so ready for this air energy that they don't realize that the air is actually pushing the fire. They're not ready for the heat. I told people, this is a season for that. You're not ready for the heat. You're not built like that. You're not built for the fire that's happening. Shit is going on around the fucking world right now. Atlanta had a protest. They fucking banging up shit and everything. See, y'all not ready for the heat. Every Aquarius season, every Aquarius season, we have all these things where people want to be so knowledgeable. They want to be so intellectual. They want to be so driven by words and driven by facts and driven by this. Ain't no more. You got to get off the phone and get in the field, ho. Words only mean so much if the action don't add up. I told y'all this was the energy of where it was the King and Queen of Swords upright, and it was the King and Queen of Wands in reverse. But see, it's switching. There's this energy of it switching. It's switching. So now we're going to have the King and Queen of Swords in reverse, and we're going to have the King and Queen of Wands upright to stand in your power. Y'all not ready for that. Y'all not ready for the people. And the thing about it is God did it this way strategically because of the fact of why would he have his people show their power during a retrograde? Things ain't really what they seem to be. This ain't that. And, you know, I kept hearing that. And I wanted to tweet that, but I feel like it always sounds like really like off when I tweet it. But this ain't that. This ain't that. This is not what you thought it was. This is not that. There's this energy where God was trying to get everybody to understand, like, oh no, this ain't that. That ain't who you thought that was. I told him on last night, I say it's a lot of people that's rubbing their eyes and they like, is that the same Sarah? Has she always been that powerful? Has she always been that smart? Whole time, you've been in an illusion. It's been going around about a lot of witchcraft, a lot of spell work, a lot of black magic. All that shit is an illusion because a lot of these people, they were in an illusion to think that shit was working. The whole time you thinking you beating people up spiritually. You thinking you knocking their money, you knocking their flow. You ain't did a goddamn thing. You haven't done anything. You have not done anything. The only thing you realize you have done in Aquarius season, that a lot of people will realize you ain't did shit but waste your fucking time. You ain't did shit but waste your time. The same amount of time that people have invested in other people and other things that were not the core of their worries, they're going to wake up and realize I ain't did shit but waste my time, because now we have a free 89 days of no blockages, and you don't know how to handle freedom. To experience freedom to its fullest comes with wisdom. To experience freedom at its fullest comes structure, discipline, integrity. How the fuck you think you're going to experience that with all that negative energy around you? You aren't spiritually stable enough to handle physical things. That's why a lot of y'all have manifested fucking dumb shit. You just manifested it. Because of the fact of that, this was a time to where a lot of people thought like people was in a hermit mode, or they was in the energy of themselves or trying to build themselves because they was going through shit bad. No, I'm trying to get locked in with God so you can't touch nothing that I built. You can't touch nothing that I did. And for me to understand that, I had to get closer to him. For me to always stay 10 steps ahead of motherfuckers, I had to get closer to the source. Why would I get close to you? You ain't hitting on nothing. Y'all not, what's not clicking, Stephanie? Aquarius season is about the community. In order for you to survive by yourself outside of a community that you've outgrown, who do you think needs to cover you? Who do you think needs to guide you? If you're trying to go from, thank you. If you're trying to go from group A to group B, but you don't know how group B move, you can't learn from group A. You see what I'm saying? And you also got to make sure you move strategically from group A to group B, because you don't want people to understand or hear or know what you got going on for them to mess it up. You don't want them out here projecting what they know you did in group A to group B, because you no longer resonate with group A. Are y'all not listening or paying attention to how this has been going? You never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, ever. Even if it's with yourself. You never do that. That's law. You know, that's one thing that the Lord told me. He said, you're here to teach spiritual knowledge and book knowledge and street knowledge. You don't got to be no hoodlum to know street knowledge, but you'd realize that if you actually incorporated street knowledge into your life, you'd actually be way ahead of the game. You know, that's one thing people always say, you really above you above your age, don't you think? You're wise. Yes, honey. Because I incorporate street smarts in that shit. You don't need to be from the hood to get street smarts. We got white people right now that's trying to play in the streets right now, regardless if y'all know it or not. They're street fucking the shit out of y'all in your heads. You lack a lot of street smarts. Spiritual smarts has to do with street smarts. Book smarts, street smarts. And it go hand in hand. And we're seeing this time after time after time after time after time. A lot of y'all trying to get spiritually equipped. You're trying to get book smart. You're just trying to get so intellectual in either point, but you're missing the point of the street smarts, of the fact that not everybody in this world fuck with you. My granddaddy always told me it's a mask that you can see and a mask that you can't. Only way for you to survive that is if you actually get down in the nitty gritty and pay attention and get into observation mode. A lot of y'all have not understood what observation mode is because you was too busy trying to be seen by somebody. You're trying to show out behind somebody. So now you in the energy where you're going to be asking, I'm telling you, the way people are going to be asking, how did you do that? How did you do this? Because of the fact of they're trying to figure out, wait a minute, you was just sitting in the house. We just seen you sitting in the house. We just seen you crying. We just saw you down bad. And now you doing things that I would have dreamed of, right? Because you wasn't paying attention. Wasn't nobody down bad. That's what you thought it was to be. That's why we're trying to get y'all to understand all that expressing things with social media, not understanding what privacy and having some type of a healthy internet lifestyle is very important. Y'all can't move because y'all got too many people in your business. You can't figure out why things just don't work because you got too many people in your business. Pop out with that shit. Pop out with that shit. And if that's all you focusing on is trying to pop out with that shit, you ain't gonna never pop out nowhere. You always just gonna pop up, not pop out. And what comes up has to go down. What pops out, it don't go back in, it just pops out. You can't pop it back in. I need everybody to put puzzle pieces together right now. You feeling off around this person, put the puzzle pieces together. This didn't start happening to this. Put the puzzle pieces together, people. That's one thing I've been trying to tell y'all. You need to throw off things. And if you're always so focused of trying to how to finesse other people, you're going to realize you're finessing yourself. Say what needs to be said. Keep that shit pushing. Keep that shit player. Like, for real. Aquarius season, keep that shit player. People don't need to know where you going all the time. People don't know. Tell the motherfuckers where you been after you leave. Tell people what you done did after you done did it. I don't know. Let them see it on the website. Promote it then. I'm trying to tell y'all, you got to move like that right now, because I'm trying to say what people don't got, they want to take it. And this ain't the time for that. This is not the season that y'all think it is. This is the chariot where we keep moving. The fire, we're going to keep going through the fire. We're not going to slow down. We're not in the season of air right now. We're not in the season of water right now. We're in the season of fire. You either going to get your ass burned or you're going to get a little toasted. Fire only burns when you sit in it. A lot of you guys are just going to burn. I need you to pay attention. The energy is moving rapidly because to not get burned in fire, you have to move quickly. Quickly, people, quickly. Hold on. Okay. It's funny because I went to go get my animal deck out of the thing. This card was in my purse. The progression journey card. And it's the number 11. The planets continuously move through time and space. When you are born, you imprint the patterns of that moment, which are described in your natal chart. But the planets keep moving, but you also imprint the patterns they make as they progress through those first few months. The progressions sketch out the big sweeping journey of your life. You live that pattern out You live that pattern out at roughly the rate of a year to a day to the rest of your life. Once you're born, you can't choose the cycles you live through, but you can always choose how you respond. The action says progressions do not speak of a passing thing, but to the big sweeping arcs of karmic fate to your soul's journey. Your present situation may not make sense in the short term because it has more to do with the big karmic patterns and less to do with the daily existence. Stand back and look at your life journey and think of the years you engage with the world and the years you need time for more personal work. Consider making a timeline or painting this landscape to see where you are in those big sweeping patterns. This situation may feel fated, but the outcome is not predestined. Though you may feel uncomfortable, you always have a choice about how you respond and where you go. To help guide you in the moment, consider where you would like to be at the end of your life, a far distance point, and look back. Let this future become your lighthouse to guide you. Even though you may have to go around the rocks and works with the tides, let your lighthouse guide you. The challenge here says, this is not a small obstacle or opportunity. This is a part of a complex pattern. Every choice you make changes how it unfolds. The gift says, trust the tides and set your own sails. Joe Biden, you are not Joe Biden. You are not Joe Biden. It literally says it. And it makes me think of the fact that this has mountains. I never realized that there were mountains in here. But this makes me think of what I was saying about time is an illusion. We just didn't have time to waste. That kept coming up. And I like how it says about how the planets continuously move through time. So even though we have 89 days that there is no retrogrades, no blockages, that does not mean that shit is not going to keep going. That doesn't mean that shit is not going to keep going. Transits are still happening during this time. So therefore, if transits are happening, that means that the energy that they have, you know what's so crazy? I feel like a lot of people got comfortable in retrogrades. They get comfortable with the discombobulation. They get comfortable in that. They get comfortable in the fact of like things aren't moving. They get comfortable in that. They just get comfortable. That's one thing I always tell God, prepare me for what I got moving. Prepare me for my motion. So now that I've been prepared for motion, I understand when, you know what, sometimes I just need to sleep. Sometimes I just need to walk. Sometimes I just need to just relax. It will all work out. Calm the fuck down. Calm down. I keep telling y'all that. Calm down. Yeah, that autopilot is a generational curse. Chiron is referred to the wounded healer archetype, named after the mythological. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. Okay, here. The actions for Chiron, pay attention. It says find purpose in your problems. Hard-earned wisdom is now relevant and needed. You don't have to assign casuality. You may never know why you went through a difficult time, but you can put what you learned from it to good use. The journey. Even if you're never quite healed in this place of karmic tenderness, you have the wisdom to pass on once you metabolize the information. Process the emotions of why did that happen. This situation may feel familiar, but if you can't remember a story to go with it, it may be left over from a past life. A chapter review of what your soul already knows. If an old pain is triggered, have compassion for yourself. You are more than your troubles. You know the route through, and now it's time to practice what you know. In order to experience freedom to its fullest extent, you have to have wisdom, structure. Once you have a solution, add it to your toolkit. If this situation stretches and tests you, take it as training for the hero within. What you are learning now can be your secret sauce in the future. Street smart. Jesus. The situation can set off touchy memories or poke you where it still hurts. It says, sharpenly can hurt as much as coming out as it does going in. Take this opportunity to heal those old places can transform. And it's funny because yesterday I was on Netflix and I saw the movie Transformers. Allow the pain and troubles of the past to become wisdom and compassion of the present moment. I keep hearing that in my head. You don't think we have emotion? You don't think we getting money? You don't hear about it done? You don't think about done it? It was never what y'all thought it was. It's time to move now. It's time to go now. Now it's time to go. Like your soul has been prepared for this exact moment because they know we only got 89 days. If time is an illusion, we don't have time to waste. The calendar days have been speeding up crazy. Weeks have been flying by up until this very moment. That's why God has been trying to say, we got 3 months to have fun. But as you having fun, you only need to have fun in a sense of wisdom. How wise are you being during this time? Perspective. Everybody's fun might not be the same fun. You might not find it fun that you don't, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be getting your connection stronger with God instead of in the street. You might be like, damn, it's boring for me to sit at home. I don't know about you, but I found grace in that. It used to bother me until God showed me things. And I'd be like, oh, well, that'll do it. That'll do it. It's okay. I'll sit my ass in the house. It's like now you get, all right, boom. So I got to move. I got to move here. I got to move there. I got to move there. I got to move there. You're moving strategically like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? It's best I fly out on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. Then come to find out something happened on a Thursday. It's like you moving off wisdom. Your flight get delayed. You like, you know what? It's cool. I'm going to take the next one. No problem. Or you know what I'm saying? Or like the job don't work out. It's cool. I'm going to take the next job. It's understanding that if things fall through, it's because you're supposed to jump over. Think about that. If it falls through, it's because you're supposed to jump over. You're not supposed to jump in. You're not supposed to figure out what's happening. You're supposed to jump over. This is trying to help y'all maneuver through this 89 days strategically, smart, secretively, happily, and safely. And it's going to help you build some other shit along the way. A lot of y'all are going to have, you're going to have the resource. I told y'all this was all about the resources. Capricorn season has been getting all the resources together. So now you can basically the resources will be presented and you can now use them for the physical. Activate and review. Capricorn season was in retrograde still. It literally goes from retrograde to activate. There's nothing in between this. They were reviewing of what did you need. You know what I see? I see somebody going through a file and they're checking certain things. Like, okay, so they need this amount of money. They need to do this. They need to move here. Okay, they need that. They need this. They need that. Okay. They need to meet this person here. They need to meet this type of person here based off of what you have said, what you wanted. They need to get this approved. They need this. They need that. Okay. So if they get this, they'll know now to work on this, to do this better. I told y'all it reminded me of Stomp the Yard. Well, I don't know, but it reminded me of Stomp the Yard when he made that mistake and a big catastrophe happened. He went to jail. His brother died. And then the second time it happened, he was being embraced. You guys have been embraced for a lot of the things that you've done. So now you're being taught. You're putting a position of leadership to teach. You didn't mess up. It's okay. You took authority. 10th house, Capricorn energy. The IC, the 4th house keeps coming up too. Yeah, the root. This keeps coming up because I told you, well, I was telling them that the feminine energy really took a step back. The feminine energy was like, look, I've done my part. I've done my part. I've got you to this point. Now you have to trust yourself. Okay. I'm having to go ahead and work on the next step for us. Okay. We can't keep sitting in this. Okay. We've already accomplished this. Now I have to help us work on the next step for us to move around the next 89 days. The next 89 days, your feminine energy is going to be so ooh-wee. She's going to be on her shit. She's going to be at the top of the game. I'm telling you, Lilith and Leo's putting the baddest heifers on the floor. The baddest heifers on the floor got the strongest intuition. They're going to win because they're following the steps. They're paying attention. They're waiting for the thing to light up for them to be like, step there, step there. They're not trying to rush to get to the finish line. I'm trying to tell you, they're just pay attention. Your feminine energy is at the top of the charts. The top of the charts. A lot of y'all, business will be started. Business will be taken care of. Credit repair will start to happen. All that shit's going to start to happen now because I'm telling you, in 89 days, you're going to see how many things you start. And you're going to start it based off of what you already know. You're not going to start it because, I think it'd just be a great thing for me to start a business. No. The whole taxes thing right now. A lot of y'all taxes are being withheld. Like the process is going to be slower than y'all think because of the fact of this time you need to do more than just buy dumb shit. You need to know to use the money for this and that and this and that. This is about finances. You need to be looking up IRAs, Roth IRAs, index funds, all that. You know what I'm saying? You need to look that up. Not everybody. I keep trying to say, not everybody needs to be a fucking influencer right now. Social media is to help us build these digital history books, but you're trying to step up into something that you don't have no passion for. I told you, your head is telling you something that your heart telling you, and your heart telling you something that your head not telling you. They need to be on the same accord. If you have a business and you know that's what you're supposed to be doing with your business, you will now get the resources in order for you to now rebrand. This is all about that energy. Get down to the nitty gritty of starting from the surface to build up. You can do it. You look at that. The root is the 4th house, and then the 4th house is on the bottom of the deck. The birds again. I'm telling you, they have already put things together, and all you have to do is follow the instructions. Follow the instructions. Venus, Taurus. North Node's in Taurus right now, following your Venus. I remember telling people to manifest, you need to use your moon sign and your Venus sign. During this transit, you need to use your Venus sign. And wherever you have Venus in your chart, you need to use your Venus sign. And wherever you have your Venus in your chart, you need to be utilizing that. Whatever you have in your Venus sign and wherever you have Venus in your chart, that needs to be the house that you focus the most on in this 89 days. That's the house that's trying, because the next retrograde will be Taurus season. And wherever you have Taurus in your chart and your 2nd house. Pay attention. Wherever you have Taurus in your chart, look at that. First card out, abundance. Abundance. Sacred buffalo, clock me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Pay attention to those. In this 89 days, that's going to be a big focus. Your Venus placement, where you have Taurus in your chart, and your second house, because that's what's going to create you a foundation. The polar bear mystic. This gives me magician energy. Know that challenges make you stronger. Wisdom. Have faith when you face when you face adversity. Wisdom and accountability. Take time to rest, dream, renew, and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. I told you your feminine energy is going to be at the highest peak. Baby, you know what you know, what you know, what you know, what you know. And that's the truth. I find it very interesting that we literally have no blockages up until Taurus season. And I told y'all Taurus season was going to be crazy because that's the last Taurus season in the North Node of Taurus. This is really trying to stand on 10 toes down about what would Jesus do? So if you got money now, what you gonna do? Giraffe, visionary, unicorn, infinite possibilities, heron, patience. All three of these combined is a polar bear. The giraffe says, rise above earthly matters, guide through the life with grace. You're able to see the right path, stand tall in your self-worth, and love with a big heart. Masculine energy. You are the sovereign of the unseen in this. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirit of life. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary to become legendary. The Heron patience. Create a place in nature stillness and be renewed. That's two things of being renewed. That's double confirmation of renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently towards your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. Strategically, protected, happily, all that shit. And look at the butterfly rebirth. The friend, the dog, the alliance. You got a friend in me. And it's funny because also when I woke up, I kept hearing that whole I kept hearing Dora. We did it. Hey, Lois Simo, we did it. And if you know that song, you know they go down the whole list. We climbed down the mountain and we helped the bee. Yeah, we did it. Yeah. All right, let's read 1 John 5. 1 John 5 says, our victory over the world. Whoever believes that Jesus is the Messiah is a child of God, and whoever loves a father loves his child also. This is how we know that we love God's children, is by loving God and obeying his commands. For our love for God means that we obey his commands, and his commands are not too hard for us, because every child of God is able to defeat the world, and we win the victory over the world by means of our faith. That's another thing of faith. Who can defeat the world? Only the person who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. It says the witness about Jesus. Jesus Christ is the one who came with the water of his baptism and the blood of his death. He came not only with the water, but with both the water and the blood. The Spirit himself testifies that this is true because the Spirit is truth. There are 3 witnesses, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and all 3 have given the same testimony. We believe human testimony, but God's testimony is much stronger. And he has given this testimony about his Son. So those who believe in the Son of God have this testimony in their heart. Thank you. And that's why I kept feeling like there was a lot of things going on with the heart chakra the last week of Capricorn season, because Capricorns had to open their heart. So now you can open your heart to move it freely. But those, and then you have to feel your energy, like you have to feel your movements through your heart and your gut. That's why I think, well, I don't think, that's why Aquarius season is going to be about the third eye, the gut, and the solar plexus, excuse me. The third eye, the solar plexus. The heart is not something that we're working on. The heart is something we'll be working with. Yeah. Honestly, we won't be working. Well, this goes two different ways. No, we won't be working on the third eye, the solar, and the heart. We'll be working with them. Like this is a witness. You'll be working with them, not working on them, with them. But those who do not believe God have made a liar of him, because they have not believed what God has said about his son. The testimony is this: God has given us eternal life, and this life has its source in his son. Whoever has the son has this life. Whoever does not have the son of God does not have life. This is a sense of believing, which would be a sense of confidence. The eternal life says, I am writing this to you so that you may know that you have eternal life. You that believe in the Son of God, you have courage in God's presence, because we are sure that he hears us if we ask him for anything that is according to his will. He hears us whenever we ask him, and since we know this is true, we know also that he gives us what we ask for from him. If you see a believer commit a sin that does not lead to death, you should pray to God, who will give that person life. This applies to those whose sins do not lead to death, but there is sin which leads to death. And I do not say that you should pray to God about that. All wrongdoing is sin, but there is a sin which does not lead to death. We know that no children of God keep on sinning, for the Son of God keeps them safe, and the evil one cannot harm them. We know that we belong to God, even though the whole world is under the rule of the evil one. We know that the Son of God has come and has given us understanding, so that we know the true God. We live in union with the true God, in union with his Son, Jesus Christ. This is true God. This is eternal life. My children, keep yourself safe from false gods. Now, if you also been following me, you know I told y'all that this is going to be a season to where we're done with the entertainers of the spiritual realm. This is real people that actually are supposed to teach, okay? You are not built like that. You're not built like that, okay? We don't have time for that shit. We don't have time for that shit. And yesterday's Bible verse came from Proverbs 16:9. It says, you make your plans, but God directs your actions. You make your plans. God provides your necessities. You go get what you want. So if you focusing on get what you want instead of how it's going to happen, you might actually be in a better place. Jesus Christ. Then, and that's another thing that's happening, is the devil has come to collect. Capricorn kind of rules the devil, but Saturn, but the devil has come to collect. And I told people, you can't owe God until you pay the devil. And the God understands that. So don't think you skipping steps to hop over to the Jesus, Lord, our Savior. Like you going to just cancel out your debt from the devil. No, 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 no. You have to pay the devil first. And paying the devil is way worse than paying God. So I hope that you, you know what I'm saying? Like you got enough money in the bank. Because I told you, a lot of y'all had y'all checked a check, y'all cashed a check. You can't cash. You don't have no money. May the Lord bless you, though. May the Lord bless you. The emotions. Hold on. It says, you establish me, O God, and the righteous for you, who try the hearts and emotions and thinking powers are a righteous God. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. You know, that's where Gorilla got that from, of, you know, that's why she loved tomorrow. A lot of y'all are it's a lot of people in this world that's angry. One of the things that I highlighted when I was going through a really dark time was my anger. Because when you show the world your anger, when you act out of anger, you normally act in a way that's out of the devil. And that ain't right. So I remember I highlighted this when I was going through a really dark time. It says, I am slow to anger and have great understanding. I am not like who is hasty of spirit, exposing and exalting his folly. Then he says, I speak soft answers that turn away wrath, not grievous words that stir up anger. A lot of y'all have acted out of anger. You done got yourself into some shit. Good sense makes me restrain my anger, and it is my glory to overlook a transgression or an offense. I am not quick in spirit to be angered or vexed, for anger and vexation lodge in the bosom of fools. I will let all bitterness and indignation and wrath and resentment and quarreling and slander be banished from me with all malicious, whatever. And I will become useful and helpful and kind to others, tenderhearted, forgiving others as God in Christ forgave me. I'm trying to tell you, a lot of anger has stirred up a lot of this. A lot of anger is why people did what they did. Whether if it was to people, places, or things, you did that shit out of anger. And I don't know why the fuck y'all did that shit. Doing shit out of anger don't get you no wins. Doing shit out of anger don't get you no wins, baby. It does the complete opposites. The complete opposites. Trying to do shit for wins get you the complete opposite. Because today the pattern says, and if you remember, I told you Aquarius season is going to be about the copycats. The pattern says the power of being original. That je ne sais quoi about people is why I told people watch Devil Wears Prada for women. And in Sarah Jacob Roberts' sermon today, she was talking about how if the woman get her head right, the woman sets the tone where the man can follow. That's why the devil messed with Eve. I told y'all Eve is Lilith after she didn't know who she was. Eve is Lilith. Eve didn't realize she was Lilith, so she was very naive. Women's purpose on the earth is to find wisdom. That's why we have a sixth sense. We're a portal. We're wise. It says, today's a great day to experiment with innovative ideas. You may be able to discover new solutions to solve old problems. It makes me think of that old video I had when I told y'all it was a whole wall full of equations, and now you can go back and redo it. This is what this 89 days is doing. There's an energy encouraging you and others around you to challenge your thinking. The intention is to help you think outside the box, which can illuminate new opportunities. Additionally, this is a good time to assess whether you have been choosing what is true to you or your personal beliefs and values, or if you've been making choices from a place of seeking validation. What epiphanies have you had that has kept you from being who you want and see yourself to be? Thank you. That's why I also said, whatever your rising sign is, you need to make sure you're paying attention to the signs that I said. Let's go back down the list. If you have an Aries rising, you need to pay attention to Scorpio. If you have a Taurus rising, you need to pay attention to Libra. If you have a Gemini rising, you need to pay attention to Virgo. If you have a Cancer rising, you need to pay attention to Capricorn. If you have a Leo rising, you need to be paying attention to Aquarius. If you have a Pisces rising, you need to be paying attention to Sagittarius, okay? If you have a is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Pay attention. It says today you may have sudden realization sudden realization about what has been hindering you from progressing towards your goals. Perhaps you can understand that you may have stayed in environments that made you feel like you couldn't be your authentic self. You may feel more open to exploring unconventional ideas. You know, one thing that I told myself I'm gonna do more is I'm gonna start doing day trips. Fuck it, why not? Like, do I need to stay somewhere for so many days, or can I just one of my goals is that I want to knock out a lot of places. Like, I just want to knock them out. And it's like, do I really need to stay there to experience it, or can I just start to experience it and maybe go back on a different journey? Because you get something every time you go somewhere. So therefore, it's just like, why not just start it off with, a day? Come back in the same day, do something the same day, go to multiple cities in a week. Fuck it. One way to that way to that way to that way. There's other ways of doing things. Why do we think that we have to do it one way? And this is what I'm telling y'all. Enjoy your experience of luxury during this time. Don't let it. This is honestly for you to experience it. You can have other people experience it with you when we get to tourist season. But this is for you to experience it. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing. Not everybody needs to know how you did that, what you're doing. And another thing is, I want y'all to vlog your experiences for yourself, and then you can put them on YouTube later. Seriously. Because it's something about the present moment of what you feel and what you're saying and the emotions that are happening and what's happening around you that God wants you to document. Because, one of my affirmations is my life is a testimony. That's a very powerful thing to say, because as we just read in 1 John 5, your life is a testimony. Come on now. And you have witnesses. You're going to have witnesses of this energy. So it's just like, just record, save it, download Amazon Photos, download Google Photos, and just put them in there. And then when you come out to edit them, then you can take them out of there, save them, go to CapCut, whatever it's called. And then you can make your whole vlog. But something about that, I just want to tell y'all that. Okay. And, get that closest friends. No need to put everything out in the public or whatever, what you got going on, where you at, what you doing. That's besides the point. And it's not about hiding what you do, but this is the first time that a lot of you guys have actually been in the energy of freedom. So in other people, my thing is this is a time to understand what protection is. Protecting your energy at all cost. Energy is social media, it's through foods, it's through clothes, energy is through everything. This is for you to understand the sacredness of the energy exchange that you and God are having for you to experience this thing of freedom. Why share it with everybody first? Just share it with yourself. That's why I kept telling you about all them couples. I told you all them couples that wasn't going to get married. They just was going to elope, or they was going to already be married. Y'all didn't even know. That's because it's the sense of sacredness. Understand that this part of your journey is sacred with God. He already know you're going to have a ball. And it makes me think of that Aries reading I said in Scorpio season where, like, instead of Aries going to their friends and telling them it's their spirit, thank you for confirmation, it's their spiritual team that's going to have the most fun. Just watch. Just remember I told y'all that. So I love y'all. And have fun. And I'll be giving updates or whatever. If you haven't subscribed to my texting app, subscribe to my texting app, because I do a lot of exclusive messages for them and only them, because I just feel like it's just an energy exchange that's really important. So toodles.